Hello, this is Mark here at Gary's Guitars, and I'm here to talk about distortion. The good kind of distortion, the kind that guitarists like to hear on their amplifiers. Distortion is a powerful force because it can make notes sound bigger and wider and create sustain and all sorts of great stuff. So we're going to talk about distortion this way. I'm going to divide it up into three kinds. One is preamp distortion, one is power amp distortion, and the other is speaker and transformer distortion. So, we'll start with the most basic, preamp distortion. That's the kind of thing you get out of a pedal. So before you get to the amp, you create distortion at a very low level. Then go to the amp. And then some amps do preamp distortion. For example, we have this Marshall here. Most Marshalls rely heavily on preamp distortion. This is a solid state amp, so it is crazy loud. If you set it to clean, it's really clean. But in the preamp stage, if you crank the preamp and turn down the output, it will crunch like crazy. So that's how Marshall gets that sound. Really early Marshalls used to have no master volume, so people use those. You have to turn it up way loud in order to get them to behave that way, because that's power stage distortion, or that's a combination. But so the preamp is distorting and the power stage is distorting, and that is the kind of thing people see. This Fender Blues Junior here. People love these amps because they can provide a little bit of power amp distortion and a little bit of preamp distortion, and it's a cool sound. It's two different flavors. It's you know, chocolate and vanilla together, and so people love to get that effect. So that's what master volume amps can give you if they're low wattage. If they're high wattage, you just have to turn them way up. Now let's talk about the speaker or transformer distortion. And for that, we'll look at the Sonola and this Copperhead head. These are low watt amps, and so you can get preamp distortion. You'll get power amp distortion, more power amp distortion than preamp distortion, because they have no master volume, generally speaking. This one does. This one has a master volume. This one's been modified. Old amps didn't necessarily have master volume, so they're clean when they're down low. You turn it up and it begins to distort. You turn it up a lot and you get that stage 3, which is your speaker failing, essentially, or your transformer failing. And that can be a magnificent sound as well, and some people rely on that. And that's what we call square wave distortion. It really sounds like something, you know, a square wave is a very kind of, it's a mix, the square wave sound is mixed into your sound, and it just does these really weird harmonics all over the place, because your transformer and your speaker are at their limit, and they're actually malfunctioning. But that's why people love an old amp cranked all the way up. Some of that sound is just like, ooh, wow, you know, it's actually the sound of mechanical failure. But you can't help but love it. Now on these low watt amps like these, the Fenders, they will, if you crank them all the way up, they will not begin, the speaker and the transformer, the output transformer will not begin to fail. The speaker won't begin to fail. The engineering is too good these days. Companies wouldn't make something that is prone to working at the edge of its ability, because it's going to blow up. It's like stomping on your sports car at every green light. Eventually you're going to blow a seal somewhere, because nothing can work at 100% capacity all the time and still be, what's the word for it? Still be worry-free. So, and what about tube amp and solid state amps? Well, in the preamp distortion, solid state amps do well, but of course only a tube amp can give you that power stage distortion, that good power stage distortion. Power stage distortion in the solid state world is not good. It happens, it goes square, but it's not like the cool kind of square. It's just like, oh, there's something wrong with my amp. So, that's a little talk about distortion. All of these amps you see here all make a slightly different kind of distortion for different reasons. It's all good. It's all kind of fun. Some people have a variety of amps, like myself, to get different sounds at different times. Some people find one and prefer it. It's great to explore. So try them all out and figure out what you like the best and why. And thanks for watching.